Hold on, just gotta get some things handled here real quick. Sorry for the delay. Things have been a little bit hectic over here at the house. Let me go ahead and get ready to share this. And then I have to send a message to a friend real quick, and then we can get into this. Alright, so we're waiting to get back to that. Let me go ahead and address the people in the chat. I would like to thank you all for joining me. I know there's like 66 people, so it'll be a little bit difficult. Got Retro Blasting and a whole slew of my supporters here. Much appreciated it. So let me go ahead and make sure my settings are right here. You know how these things can be. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and get started then.
Another order of dastardly delinquents deposited on your doorstep, courtesy of Darkwing Duck.
Just setting up the mood here. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about old Michael Mercy of course, the YouTube channel Michael Mercy. He is a YouTuber who specializes in 80s, specifically the toys. And I want to go ahead and be full disclosure here. When I reached 1,000 subs a few years ago, I invited Michael Mercy, Retro Blasting, and Hooded Cobra Commander, as well as Rodimus Primal, to come have a seat and chat about things. Mercy declined. He said he had other obligations, and to my knowledge, that's correct. However, there were things going on behind the scenes I was not aware of. Cut to last week. Last week, you all saw JoeFan82 lost his mind. Talking about how Alzheimer's is God's evidence that that person needs to die, a whole slew of things. And I've also gotten reports that apparently he's a raging, Islamophobe. He really hates Muslims, to a point to where he wouldn't collab with another Joe fan because he was Muslim, proclaiming that it is blasphemous. Now, I want you to be aware he had conversations with Michael Mercy, but those are down now, and I'd like to talk to you about why things are down. So, what happened behind the scenes was last year, or the year before, I can't remember which. Michael Mercy was talking about how he could not afford the new Unicron, the HasLab one. He apparently lost his job due to the pandemic and all this. So Tony out of Analog Toys and some other people pitched in, got him a plaque, and bought him this Unicron. Now, what happened here afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and read out. Because I would rather, of course there's a video on this, but there's things Tony left out. And the reason why Tony left specific things out was because he was trying to be polite. Even though what he was doing was to tell you the truth about this dude, he left some specific things out. But he actually sent it to me in an email. Let me go ahead and find this email. Okay, I'm going to read this out. Hey Tim, this is sent to a friend named Tim. Long story short, about 2 years ago, I was friends with Michael Mercy, and we were patrons of each other's channel. I also sent him the very first, very generous gift box that his channel received, which started a trend of audience members sending him mystery boxes. At the same time, I was approached by another of his patrons who was trying to get together a group of people who would all chip in to purchase the Unicron for Mercy. Although I am not a fan of Transformers or HasLab and have no interest in a piece of crap like Unicron, I agreed out of sense of community. 5 different patrons donated an equal amount of money to Mercy and covered the entire cost of the purchase. Fast forward 4 months, and Michael French had recently appeared on the first ever episode of Palatalk. Sometime later, Michael Mercy sent me a friend request for Skype chat, so I sat down with him and he started giving me a ton of unsolicited advice about being friends with retroblasting would be damaging to my channel. And let me tell you that behind the public persona, Mercy is a nasty POS. Calling Michael French a mother effer and saying he looked ill, etc. These are things Tony didn't say in the video, which I recommend you all watch. I did not take kindly to the unsolicited advice or to his comments about Michael French. A week or so later, Michael French's second appearance on Palatalk was posted on my Patreon, and within 12 hours, Mercy had blocked me from his public Facebook page, personal Facebook page, and removed his patron pledge. So I, in turn, removed myself from his Patreon. I then discovered that he removed from YouTube every video in which I appeared or was mentioned, including all 3 appearances on Toy Guys Talking and all 3 unboxing videos where he had received gifts from me. I patiently waited for over a year until he received a Unicron before responding. I gained access to some of his Patreon exclusives where he unboxed the Unicron and mentioned the 4 other contributors by name and deliberately omitted my name while lying to his audience and saying the rest of the funding came from Patreon. He is also on record in public YouTube videos saying things like Unicron is so good they should have charged customers double, which he did say. And anyone who dislikes Unicron should just enjoy my joy. And if they don't, then they have an empathy deficiency and are narcissistic. These are things he has said. I was getting ready to make a video exposing the truth about the slime ball, but decided I should do the gentlemanly thing first. I simply sent him a message saying, Michael Mercy, I'm going to try to do a Tony impression. Michael Mercy, since you deliberately omit me from any and all thank you messages regarding my contribution to the purchase of the HasLab Unicron, I ask you do you not think that you should refund my share of the purchase? Tony. Now, I can't do a very good impression, but still. I woke up the next morning to find my PayPal funds had been refunded to me, and I had no other communication with the spineless moron and really didn't want to. Now, he talks about how that chapter of his life's closed, but due to what Joe Fan did, Tony had enough, and he messaged Michael saying, hey, do you really think this guy's a good representative of what your channel's about while having him here? And then he sent him one later saying, if you don't remove this clown and all of his appearances on your channel, I'm going to go public with the truth about you. Mercy never responded to any of these emails. But those videos sure came down. Now, Joe Fan's gone. He has privated all his videos. He hasn't removed them. I checked. He privated them. His Twitter is down, and I saw him on Facebook selling a bunch of Barbies. My best guess is that his entire marriage is falling apart, and he's losing his mind. Not going to pick on him about that aspect. Mental health is not a fun thing. But I've been wanting to talk about Mercy for a little bit here because of my experience with him. Now, he, of course, followed me back on Twitter back when I had one because I invited him to the stream. But then I wound up mixing it up with a pedophile. As you all know, I tend to hunt those people, and sometimes I make fun of them on Twitter. You don't debate with them. You just make fun of them. And then when I commented on one of Mercy's videos, I noticed I couldn't. And then I checked Twitter and asked him. He never responded. Then I found out he unfollowed me. Michael Mercy is so obsessed with making sure he doesn't see anything unpleasant that when somebody's taking out the trash, dealing with a literal child predator, he'll cut communication with them at all. Completely. That's the truth about Michael Mercy. But there's a bit more. That is his immoral actions. That's how he treats people when he doesn't think they're being watched. And as anybody will tell you, your character is not what you're doing when people see you. It's what you're doing when you think no one else is watching. However, I don't want to give the name of the person who passed this because, privacy. But I found out some adorable things about little Mickey Mercy here. So, who here, go ahead and type 1 in chat if you're familiar tangentially with 2005 to 2012 DeviantArt Cringe. Type 1 in chat if you're familiar with it. All right, so you all know. I would like to. This is going to be great. Okay, so there's a few things I want to go over here. 2005 to 2012 DeviantArt Cringe is a creature in and of itself. This dude is literally the I studied the blade of toy collectors. And that's sad coming from me. Thank you, my dear child. You can't stand these toy people anymore. I understand. I get it. And as far as somebody said that you don't get why people say Michael Mercy doesn't understand why he says Michael looks sick. I keep teasing Michael friendly, telling him, like, dude, if you want to shut those people up, just, like, get huge. Because Michael, he's got a fairly limber frame, and he could put muscle on really quickly. So everybody bully Michael to start lifting, like, everything. Get him huge. That way nobody want to dick with him anymore. But anywho, so this was passed to me. Now, when I say the word warrior, what do you think? You think of a man who's been in combat. You think of, well, you think of people like Tony. People who have been in wars. The definition of a warrior is somebody who has been active or a participator in war, somebody who's experienced warfare. And that's not referring to like spiritual warfare or personal conflict. It's specific to war. Actual war. Physical altercation. So imagine my surprise. Let me go ahead and make sure that's removed. So let me go ahead and mute this because I got a message just pop up and I don't want to betray that person's trust. Ding ding. Who dis? Also, just so you're all aware, Junkman doubled down on his claims. And now he's continuing to say that I am clearly a pedophile. Ah. Such a brilliant, brave man. Too stupid to know when to quit. Alright, so let me go ahead. Get back to this. Alright, let me go ahead and unmute. Or unblind it. Let me go ahead and remove the control panel so you guys can see what's going on here. Warrior, poet, wisdom. Not only is Michael Mercy a warrior, he's a warrior poet and he has wisdom to give you. And the reason why I specifically talked about DeviantArt Cringe is, let's go ahead and take a look at the photos real quick because this is brilliant. Where did they go? If none of this says to you DeviantArt Cringe, come on. Come on. All he's missing is the fedora. That's all he's missing. When you were studying sports, I was studying the blade. I was studying the blockchain. Every single scar we've got, knowledge, strength, and grace, was bought. But doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. Bigger scars. Bigger scar means strength lasts longer, or it means that you're dumb and you didn't block. And I want you to be aware, this dude talks about how he's just a man with a pen and I quote, broadsword. I want you to be aware, now, Mercy, I know you don't actually know about swords. You don't. For the record, I've studied HEMA, primarily that of ringneck for the German longsword, as well as Lacutioner for Messer. I've done some English saber fighting. I want you to be aware, Mercy, that's not a broadsword. There is no, save the Scottish one, there is no such thing as a broadsword. Real quick, what's his basement? $5, thank you. I hear by motion we refer to these crazy drama magnets in the toy and collecting community as toy boys. Ah, funny, that's good. Because saying grown adults don't behave like this. Correct. Alright, so, moving on. What he actually has in his hand is a claymore, based on the movie Braveheart, that tells a tale about William Wallace. Not exactly the most, historically accurate thing. It's also a stainless steel 440, completely dull primarily, with a rat tail tang that they ping in. It's supposed to be a feather quill. It's a pin. And in these, not only does he not know what swords are in terms of like their classification, he also doesn't know how to hold one. Anybody who knows anything about swordsmanship, the first thing they'll tell you is never hold it like a baseball bat. What's he doing? He looks like a baseball bat. I've been studying swords in general since I was a kid. So let me go ahead and make this point. Anyone who tries to sell you about being a warrior and using flowery words to describe it, unless their name is Miyamoto Musashi, who doesn't spout this type of doorknob diatribe, they're a liar and they're trying to sell you something. Let's see here. You must show no mercy, nor have any belief in how others judge you, for your greatest will silence them all. Are they silent about you right now, Mercy? All right. So I made a promise to a friend, GNX, that I would read some of this. Oh boy. Ha ha! Remind yourself that you cannot fail at being yourself. Well, actually you can. You can pretend to be other people. He also does like really cringe photography, by the way. This dude, he's a pseudo self-help guru who doesn't know about anything concerning factual reality. I'm not going to read all of these. I'm not going to read all of the ones I have because, it's a pain in the butt. So, remain in light. This message is for warriors who have a loved one who has done something so selfish that it's not just made them blue. The message is for warriors who feel they've been betrayed by loved ones who could not resist their urges to get laid. They grew complacent. They got bored. They wanted something fresh. They squandered something deeper for relations of the flesh. I'm here to tell you, they've left you angry, hurt, confused, and you feel your light fade. You feel there is a price for their selfishness to be paid. I'm here to tell you now the best advice you'll ever get. Remain in light, brave warrior. Don't you dare get upset. They know you have shown weakness, and their guilt haunts them now. They want you in their darkness too, so that you bend and bow. Hold your words of hatred, and unclench your angry fist. Remain in light, do not hurt back. Revenge you must resist. Remain in light as you feel it does slip away from you. Remain in light and forgive how they were weak and untrue. This is incel level crap. This is something some dude writes because the girl he was after went after another dude. Now, this has 8,000 followers on the page. This post from 2020 has 3 shares, 11 likes. Thank you, Tony. Analog Toys, $5. Utter nonsense. I agree. His latest one about how you can't fail to be yourself on March 27th, 1 like, 3 shares. I'm pretty sure 2 of those are his. All right. There's so much of this that it hurts my soul. Nobody ever holds swords like this when they know what they're doing, by the way. What type of idiot holds a long weapon in the center of the handle? Holy crap. Who does that? Well, idiots. Idiots do that. So, let's get back to the fun here. Why do you have a Thundercats computer screen all the time? Because it's ported out to my tablet, and that's the background of it. Duh. Light makes right. Headlines popped up as I tried to go about my day. Someone did a bad thing, so the world is in dismay. The fervor and the passion was intense, to say the least. Unfortunately, most people aren't acquainted with that beast. Intensity, the power is a monster or a saint, depending on what spectrum of the light which you acquaint. Now, we can talk about spectrums, buddy. There's people who are angry, and they're breaking things with rage. Come over here. We'll see how that works. And there are the quiet ones who act with much more sage. Yes, this dude equates being quiet about bad issues to being intelligent. Wolfie762, thank you for the super chat. Wow, he gets more lens flare there. He's going to make J.J. Abrams brush. J.J. Abrams, this man is a director. We'll get to that. J.J. Abrams should learn from him. Like, all of this is just sophistry, self-fellation that this dude has put it through. Don't rise to the level of our expectations. We fail to the level. We don't rise to the level of our expectations. We fall to the level of our training. Dude, you have never once trained with a weapon. I can tell exactly by how you're moving it and how you have it in your hands. And, of course, the tale of 2 wolves. Which one is stronger, the one you feed? Well, your general doctor recommends having no wolves in you. You might want to see somebody about that. By the way, he goes by the screen name Miro as well because, I could I could tear into so much. There's a specific one I want to get to. Like for an 8,000 liked page, this thing gets terrible traction. Like my YouTube channel gets more traction. Connor Fuller with brilliant line. I had a cat that was fat and sat on a mat. Well, what do you think about that? Thank you for the super chat. I'm trying to find a specific one. Oh, wait. I think I know how. I'm going to make everybody else suffer with me. We're going to go to the photos. Be more afraid of a starved wolf than a fed one. True. By the way, here's another fake account that's really mad at my existence. So I'm going to go peek at what he said because that's funny. One moment. Boop. Aw, it disappeared. Yeah, somebody that's going by the name Tony Rollins with a freaking, what is it, Robin Hood from Disney is trying to call me a pedophile now because I upset poor little junkie junk. Anywho, back to the images here. I got to find the right one. It's one about samurai and Bushido. He says, "Oh, this is just a bunch of sophistry." Wait till we get into the real true boomer posting, because there's so much boomer posting. Everyone's brave from a distance. True courage isn't seeing the whites of their eyes; it's seeing the pores on their skin. Anytime you think you're big enough, let me know when you actually buck up at somebody, big guy. May God have mercy on my enemies, because I won't. Yeah, Patton didn't, but you're too scared to talk about people. Oh, more boomer posting. Welcome to the little girl in the new... Yeah, taking photos of a child you love with your cell phone is, that's true abysmal nature of things. More... These kids and their cell phones. It's a zombie generation. How embarrassing. Can you imagine it being this out of touch? Addiction begins with the hope that something out there can instantly fill up the emptiness inside. Well, you're pretty empty, buddy. That's why you get so mad when people criticize toys. Trying to find the post. So I had to get... Oh, yes, you're real Wing Chun in the night, buddy. With effort and discipline, and with courage and resolve, only then can potential to potency evolve. Sure, buddy. We're going to get to this in a minute, too, because this dude talks about working out, and he doesn't even lift. Everybody's favorite cringe lord. This man is almost 50. This dude is old enough to be somebody's dad, and this is how he acts. This is amazing. I offended you? What's it feel like to be so weak that mere words hurt you? I don't know. Retroblasting's words about toys being stupid hurt you. I love this one. A sword is only as sharp as the body and mind that wields it. Well, that's a reproduction, quote-unquote, Excalibur sword made of stainless steel, 440, rat tail, pin-tang. It's dull. Stainless steel doesn't hold an edge very well. So, yes, your sword is as sharp as your body and mind. Oh, I missed the super chat. Let me go see it. A couple of them. 3 of them. So many. Thank you, Riddle of Lightning. With the glass ceiling broken, the oppressed group shall prosper, especially the most oppressed group of all. Gamers. Romantic Sionist, thank you for the $10 super chat. Sorry, his picture makes you think of that kid yelling, "I have the power of God and anime on my side." Don't you sit here and derogatory that poor child. Let's see here. Jeff says, thank you for that super chat. Everyone's a bad A behind a keyboard. This guy's just sad. Is he cosplaying 24/7? Seriously, what the actor like? I bet he wrote like Final Fantasy fan fiction in class. Look at him. He's wearing face paint. He thinks he looks cool in this. That is so sad. He thinks he looks cool. He thinks this was a good idea. I don't always get hate mail from overly sensitive people who find my posts offensive, but when I do, I don't give an F and I never will. Well, dude, you do genuinely get offended when people say negative things about toys. Remember, they should enjoy your joy. It's a lack of empathy. I'm sorry, I keep getting stuck here, but I'm trying to find the right post. I know there was a samurai one a second ago, but it's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for a very specific one. Yes, wrestling cosplay. Real tough guy. We'll talk about his views on Christianity shortly. Also, I want to be very clear here. Anybody who has a real understanding of history does not point to the Spartans, like the historical Spartans, as a metric for masculinity because their ranks were filled with pedophiles. Like, this dude doesn't know any of this. Yes. This poor man's being doggone slandered by being on this clown's page. Ultimate Warrior's better than this. Warriors break chains. No, not really. He thought this was a smart thing to post. There's a lot of gatekeeping happening there. Yes, I hold the gate shut. Nobody else is allowed in but me, clearly. I know it's taken a while. I should have had this prepared, but man, there's so much here. This is what this dude thinks. This is what this dude thinks he is. He thinks he's some sort of hyper-intelligent super warrior that is above other people. He thinks he's a scholar, a poet, an artiste. Yes, you're an environmentalist too. The thing is, the reason why I'm not clicking on all these is because most of them have some sort of really goofy poetry, and I really don't want to deal with that. There it is again. He really thinks that's a wise thing to say about potency and potential. Aren't you brilliant? Here's another poor friend of his that was suckered into this who doesn't know how to hold a katana right either, so that's always fun. More Spartans. Yes. Criticize. Wait until you hear about what he says about fat people. This is going to be amazing. This dude is a legit fat phobe. He does not care about what other biological problems people might have. He thinks it's just laziness. And since it's still up here, I'm going to assume he does not stand. He stands by it. So much cringe. I'm going to have to take a nap after all this. Drama queen. Yeah, you sure are one, buddy. Oh, guys. I was this one. This dude's about as deep as a kiddie pool. 2 futures lost and futures won. Sure. Man, I'm having a real hard time. Also, I want to be very clear here. Life is tough, but it's tougher when you're stupid. I grew up watching John Wayne films. My father is an unabashed John Wayne fan. I would not recommend putting him on pages talking about masculine virtue and morals because the dude was an unapologetic real-life white supremacist. Not a good look, buddy. Good actor. Made good films. Garbage personal morals. I think this is it. This dude genuinely thinks he would fit in well with the samurai. Miro is Michael Mercy. That's what he calls himself. The code of Bushido. Many different warriors have walked the face of earth from many different areas, but all shared the same worth. One of those was Bushido, way of the warrior knight. Although these are ancient Japanese nobles are gone from sight, the 7 virtues they all adhere to still live on, and the warrior knight's way continues to inspire spawn people from all walks of life to strive for rectitude, courage, and benevolence. Respect what they imbued. Honesty and honor, and the final virtue of loyalty all form the code which set them all above. Other people who did not adhere to self-imposed laws and regulations that would keep their calm composed. 7 virtues that make up the moral principles to keep a warrior grounded whenever trouble pulls. Virtues that can anchor us firmly in peace and grace whenever anger, frustration, setbacks show their face. Life warriors, life is tough, get a helmet, God, all these tags. All right. How do I put this? Stop talking about liberals in my chat. We're not playing that game here, and if I have to start banning people, I will. Anywho, let me explain to you something about historical Bushido. Bushido, the samurai code, was an oral tradition. And it varied from clan to clan, and even from ryuha to ryuha. Bushido was not codified until the 1900s, until after the samurai class was abolished. And it was done by a Quaker. Oh, thank you. Tony actually sent me that. That was what he said. Honor, integrity, and respect. Honor, integrity, respect, and self-discipline are very important to me. So I think I'd fit right in with the samurai. I want to go ahead and address this. No, Michael Mercy, you would not fit in with the samurai. You don't have the teeth for it. You lie to your subs. You lie to your friends. You try to tell them who they can be friends with. Samurai were a lot of things, but they didn't really tolerate lying and deception very well. They would have killed you for one of two reasons. For lying to them, or, hate to tell you this, buddy, but you're not Japanese? You don't know dick about the Ryuha? You don't know dick about Kinjitsu? They'd have no reason to respect you. Do you know how little the amount of Western samurai were? Like, 2 people. And you can't measure up to either of them. Holy crap. I can't imagine being this stupid. I mean, I can imagine it. I see it every day. But this is what he does. This is what he thinks he's some sort of hyper-intelligent warrior poet who makes fun of people for being overweight, who tries to rage about Christianity in the most asinine ways possible. None of these people care about this guy. Let's see. Is this it? Is this the one? No. I'm trying to find the one where he makes fun of fat people just for being fat because they don't have proper motivation like he does. Motivation to be, well, what's the word? Mediocre? There's only been one Christmas. The rest are anniversaries. Buddy, trust me, you don't want to know the history there. I'll ruin your day. Warriors at work. Do you even know what a kata is, Mercy? Do you know what a proper form is? Can you tell me the difference between the bind and winding? How about shilhao and oberhao? Can you tell me the difference between hasa no kamae and chudan no kamae? Can you tell me any of these things? Can you tell me where the ha or the mune on a blade is? All right, let's look at a little lion picture. The Lion Lord. Every 100 years, 4 towns would send their very best. You know, I actually don't want to read this. This is all just trite garbage. This is something a middle schooler with like daddy and mommy issues would submit in art class because they think they're epic. The whole I'm a Zen Buddhist master nonsense that he tries to purport to people is an absolute joke. Here it is. Jesus wasn't fat. Fat, a word that hurts feelings of those with no control. It feels like an attack when said by some skinny beanpole. Even worse when spoken by someone with muscled frame, a word that causes much self-doubt, embarrassment, and shame. The heavy folks hear fat. Most don't look closer at the speaker. They see the stretch marks that reveal one time they were weaker. The ego stings and covers ears and doesn't want to hear life advice from those who sweat the fat off their rear. I was fat when I was young, and never do I hide. The reason why my girth was large, my frankness exceeds pride. I was obese because I lacked control over myself, overweight because I was oblivious to help. Asleep and unaware to the effects and the poor health brings, the lack of energy and focus, all 'cause ego stings. I got over myself and focused on those who were svelte, warriors who took punishment that life had dealt. Lean and mean with hard muscle, wiry and flexible, quick as a cat and sly as foxes, intense as a bull. Many men and women that I did admire had, and sharp and focused mind, because their brain matter was clad in toned muscle and working in harmony with the soul. Where'd I go? Oops. I hate the way this thing works sometimes, trying to find the right spot. I keep missing my spot. Apostle Paul said how fitness is a spiritual goal. Your body is a temple from Book of Corinthians. That's not what Paul was talking about, Scooter. Paul was talking about sin. Incredible how followers of Christ speak against sins. Well, yes, like tattoos, piercings, drugs, and homosexuality, yet spill out over their belt is a hefty decree that their body is not a temple, just an endless pit. You lied to 60,000 people. You abused your friend and your brother because he was talking to someone you didn't like who had never done you actual wrong. What's the other Bible verse? Remove the log from your eye before you deal with the speck from your brother's. They eat and eat and eat, but do not sweat and show true grit. One of the warriors that studied to inspire me was Son of God himself, Jesus, the Lamb who died for thee. Though we have no photograph or selfies of the Savior, an image can be formed through his teachings and his behavior, and many artists have rendered the idea of his form lean and slender, fit and steady, ready for the storm. No double chin or big belly, the king of kings with trim. Well, we don't actually have evidence of that. His physical condition wasn't because of the gym, no, it's because he was a carpenter by trade. He had to do it all by hand. Jesus walked and 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 walked, and sometimes he talked. He talked quite a bit, actually. As far as the walking goes, everybody walked those times, and your body adjusts to that. There are a whole bunch of really chubby people who walk all day, too. Go to a Walmart sometime and look at the people there. He didn't sit in chairs all day. He used his legs to move. He knew he was a temple and would every day improve. Well, no. He's God incarnate. He's not the temple. Holy crap, you're stupid. With self-control of his diet as well as exercise, he knew that clarity was in proportion to waist size. Was it now? So a fat guy shouldn't be smarter than you. I know a lot of fat people smarter than you. Somewhere down the road, it become rude, coarse, and crude to tell people they are too fat and need to eat less food because it's none of your business. Again, log your eye, speck in theirs. How did being overweight become acceptable? For those who follow one who stopped eating before he felt full. Well, you don't know when Jesus stopped eating meals. You know nothing about that. It's not even in the Bible. The only time it talks specifically about him eating was Last Supper. How did it become distasteful to say, lose some weight? It's because it's rude and it's none of your business, unless they ask you for advice. How did giving wise advice get skewed as spewing hate? Because you're the person saying it. How did excuses get accepted with no thought? I've got an injury, my back hurts, and my knees are shot. Having physical injuries aren't an excuse, chimp. You're the type of guy who looks at a paraplegic and tells him to go for a jog, aren't you? I've got a thyroid issue. I can't help I'm fat. Well, I've known people who have thyroid issues. You're not a doctor. You're not a physician of any type, not spiritual or physical. Anybody, I wouldn't trust you to draw a bath or be the town dog catcher, much less any of this. I have more reasons than most do, so their stories fall flat. If I can remain thin and trim over 20 years, and I'm convinced you can as well, if you just dry those tears, yes. If I did it, everyone should be able to, even though bodies are different. This man keeps talking about how this is all because of Jesus. He has no clue what Jesus looked like. Nobody does. Holy crap, this is stupid. And here he is with his father. You, sir, failed to raise him to have any sort of testicular fortitude. Now, I want to go ahead and get some more images here. You just saw him going on about muscle, right? About how important it is to be fit. Number one, get better things. Let's see here. Warrior indigestion. I'm not concerned. Let's see here. What is this stance? What is this? What is this? Yes, you're so epic and cool. Trying to find one of these images of him. Like without it always being in a silhouette because he thinks that looks cool. Well, I'm not worried about it. Let's just say Michael Mercy doesn't live up to his own advice. Thank you, Vinkman. $2 super chat. What utter bollocks. Lyle, you are adopting my words more. Am I? Or have I always known them? All right. So. Well, you chase them chubbies. All right. So. He thinks he's a director. And he did Acuity, a 2007 video. It has 16 IMDb ratings, probably from his mom. When you preach something, you should practice it. Michael Miro Mercy. Now, here's some of his quotes on his IMDb. Hold on. Graduate of the University of Waterloo's Film Studies program. Man, you didn't get your money's worth. Michael Mercy's range of products is as diverse as his range of talents. Ah, aren't you smart? The Canadian-born filmmaker. Wait, as diverse as range of... So that's why he only does a couple things. Television shows, an inspirational tearjerker feature film, Acuity. His narrative work ranges from drama to thriller to action comedy. Mercy works as a writer, director, cinematographer, editor, actor in his various projects as well. His films have enjoyed success in festivals all over North America, including Nashville, Houston, and Toronto. So did Cuties in France. It's not a standard of value. Trademark. Themes of redemption, inspiration, and spirituality. Somebody trying to sell you on spirituality without any sort of theology to back it is selling you the air that's supposed to go into the football without the football. Just telling you that right now. Create your own opportunities and exploit it to the fullest potential, the precious few that fall into your lap. You can learn just as much from watching someone do something wrong as you can from watching someone do something right. Well, you're proving that because I'm watching you do wrong all the time. I shudder at the thought of how many opportunities have been missed because someone couldn't take 30 seconds within a 48-hour span to answer an email. You didn't answer 3 of Tony's. It's a form of disrespect when you don't write back to an important question request. So now he's admitted, via his own standards, that he disrespects Tony. Doggone amazing. Hold on. Man, I really made Junkman people mad. That's funny. Okay. Thank you, Brian Dillingham, for the $2. So, he also did something called Archon Defender. Let's see what this is about. Yeah, thanks for taking me to a completely new page, dummy. Will this be inspirational? I hope it's inspirational. I really hope this is super inspirational. Let me turn this nonsense down. Alright, so CGI, a lot of rigging. I love the detail. Little tube arms. Where's the fit people, Michael?
Where do you draw your line in the sand? My fondest memories are of my mother and father. Those were happier times. Before the uprising, before the chaos and terror, before the tyranny, before Lucia. I was too young to know it at the time, but my father knew. And he's the only reason I'm still alive today. I still remember what he said to me. That we all have to draw our line in the sand.
Jace, I know you're probably not listening, but I think we just found our next cringe covering after Pride. We got acuity here. I'm not even concerned myself with that. So this is Michael Mercy. You all know what he's like now. This is so doggone goofy. This is the guy who keeps talking about how if somebody criticizes something you like, they're a narcissist. Enjoy their joy. Enjoy their joy. Enjoy their joy. Well, here's the thing, Michael Mercy. I enjoy making fun of you. I enjoy telling people who you are and what you're like. Also, I would like to point out something else really, really interesting. Let me see if I can pull this up. I want to get this ready. Where was it posted? I must find it. Here it is. I gotta open this new tab, and I gotta bring this in. So, he's had people leaving his Patreon because of the stunt he pulled. And here's how he has chosen to respond to it. Thank you for your support. Hello, everyone. For those who have questions about a recent video making accusations about me, all I can say is, you know who I am. You know what I'm all about. This hasn't changed. Apart from that, I won't be addressing the video. It's being dealt with by the appropriate people. My wife and I thank you for your support. Tony, if you're in the chat, I'm going to ask you a question. Has anybody contacted you about this on behalf of Michael Mercy? Saying, hey, we need to talk about your video. I am a constituent of Michael Mercy, and we must discuss this with you. Has anybody done that? And for those who don't get why this is really dumb, let me see if I can do it in print. No one. So who's handling this, Michael? Miro Mercy. Let me tell you how political this is by doing an impression. Thank you for your support. Hello, everyone. For those of you who have questions about a recent video making accusations about me, all I can say is, you know who I am. You know what I'm talking about. That hasn't changed. Apart from that, I won't be addressing the video. It's being dealt with by the appropriate people. My wife and I thank you for your support. Literal political nonsense. Just be happy I didn't read it off as Ben Shapiro. That would have been funnier. The reason why it's important to talk about this type of stuff is it's important to know who is behind the mask, who is behind the veil, in terms of their personality. It's important to know what they actually are. This man has just shown that he is willing to lie to 60,000 people over a toy because he refuses to own up to what he's pulled. This guy with this facade of Zen, positive Buddhism, does not know how to get his own house in order, treats his friends like garbage, uses people, and lies to them. That's Michael Mercy. Now, I'm a prick. I absolutely am a prick. I am an unapologetic, blunt prick, but I'm never going to lie to you. And if I do get something wrong, I will redress it. So here we are now. Michael Mercy, I know you're going to avoid this. I know you're not going to listen to it. But this is going to stay up until I'm sure you eventually try to strike it because I just went through the trailer of your goofy little film, which I'm going to make fun of even further on stream. Does anybody have anything fun to say about Mickey Mercy? And thank you all for the support, by the way, because this is when Tony told me about this last week, I wanted to immediately start talking about it. He asked me to hold off because he wanted to address it, and he has that right as the offended party in this. And I mean offended, classic offended, as in offended, defended. And he did. So I appreciate Tony giving me the go-ahead to talk about this after his video dropped. David, $5. Thank you. We need to load Ultimate Warrior spaceship and rocket fuel. Michael Mercy and that Junkman. I mean, I wonder what happened to that rocket ship. Now he's saying that in Rutger Hauer's voice. All right. Hello, I am new to you. Hello, thank you for being new, Jesse. This man was vulnerable in all the wrong ways. Correct. Maybe my comment about Michael Mercy being the toy community's golem is holding up. It is. It absolutely is. I like that comment, actually. You mentioned he said some things about you one time. No, Michael Mercy never said anything about me. It's just that whenever I tried to get him on the channel, he had other commitments. And then when he saw me fighting with a pedophile and making fun of them, he blocked me because he doesn't want to deal with anything unpleasant. This is not about a disagreement. This is about moral values. Moral values. And if your moral values are not above your entertainment, you're going to be taken as a sucker for the rest of your life. You can, at some point, separate art from artist. But in the cases like these, when the artist directly lies to you and knows what he's doing, it's another matter altogether. I can't imagine lying to my audience. I really can't. Especially about a gift. Michael Mercy isn't his real name, so how can he say, you know who I am? That's true. Michael Mercy is not his real name. Cultivating the comments and likes dislikes of your own channel doesn't strike me as positive. No, he does do that. He curates his comments. Now, in fairness, he has that right. In fairness, he has that right. But he's a scumbag about it. Don't lie about toys, lie. Oh man, we're gonna lie about everything. I'm gonna lie about toys. This is stupid. Lies are like flies. They multiply as heck and quit. Correct. I simply feel like playing Genesis Jesus, he knows me, while watching. Well, Christ does know your heart. And Michael Mercy's, well, what is it he said? A man's heart is wicked. Who can know it? man is so concerned with trying to look like a positive spiritualist that he doesn't understand there's meat to things. Retroblasting's right. He does allow negative comments about his guests as long as they are positive about him. That is true narcissism. True narcissism. You know, I've mixed it up with plenty of people in my comment section. They've said all sorts of horrible things. The only time I'll block or remove somebody is when they don't provide me with enough entertainment or evidence to their claims. Then I make fun of them and then block them or delete it or whatever. Lately, though, YouTube's been deleting a lot of comments, and I don't know why. Go ahead, Jason D. Williams. Ask any question you want. And yes, it is always a narcissist that calls other people narcissists. No. I don't think they'd be toy race. I think they'd be like the deranged king. No idea what his wife's like. She's not part of this equation. I'm not going to bring her into it. He lied about a gift that was given to him. You'll have to watch Tony's video on analog toys. He goes into more detail about it. Action figure expert. Would you say Michael Mercy is the spiritual equivalent of tasteless sugar? Yeah. I got laid here. I feel so lost. Well, it's going to be up later, so it's fine. When you scrutinize every post like he does, if you see it posted on his page, he must agree with. That's also true, Tim. That is true. If somebody or Gerby were kind of to buy me something, especially something like Unicron, and don't get any ideas because that thing's going for an absurd amount, and I already have one at Big Bad Toy Store so I can review objectively since I'm going to be one of the few people to do it. And were to send a plaque with their name signed, that alone would tell me or make me be honest about it. Even if I had a major falling out with one of them, I'm not going to lie about who got it for me, and I'm not going to throw away the plaque or not show it. That still happened. And even when you're dealing with terrible people, not that Tony is one, I'm just making an observation, you can still enjoy the time you were with them before they turn terrible. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Michael Mercy's obsession with trying to remove anybody who's objective or tries to be critical about toys is proof of a childish mind. And I don't understand it. I do not understand how these adults can act like this. Michael Fringe from Retro Blasting makes a point. Meanwhile, Mr. Positivity goes around calling people he's never acted with sickly looking mother effers. True. I wonder what he'll think of me. That's fine, I don't care. Let me go ahead and look at what D. Williams is saying, because I know he's asking questions. He said he was going to ask some uncomfortable ones, so let's see what uncomfortable ones. I never felt comfortable watching his videos except when his wife was in them. Okay. I kind of got a feeling that her demeanor... I'm not going to talk about his wife. She has nothing to do with this. But it might be. I don't know. They act like children because they never had to raise them. Well, you can not have kids and not act like one. My child Mint says, the more these grown men fail at simple adulting, the more my head hurts. How can all these grown men people be so stupid and cowardly? Good question. I've been wondering that myself. I come from a very dysfunctional household. The fact that I'm more rational than these people scares me. Jody says, besides the lie about who paid for the Unicron, don't forget he tried to tell Tony to break with Retroblasting. Yes. He told Tony that it would be detrimental to his channel because Retroblasting, bad person. If you have anybody trying to tell you who to be friends with when they've done nothing like actually objectable, I want to be clear, there are times you should and could. If you find out your friend's somebody's a pedophile or a murderer or a molester or a harasser or a somebody who preys on women or a thief or something like that, somebody who's broken or gone past the moral event horizon, then you can say, look, if you want to be friends with that guy, I can't be friends with you. This dude has done XYZ thing, here's the evidence. That's another matter altogether. But what did Retro Blasting do? He says objective things about the toy industry. He doesn't suck their dick. Somehow makes him enemy number one to these clowns. It's amazing. If Michael Mercy isn't a real name, does that mean he is playing a character on his channel? Maybe an extension of his warrior character from his DeviantArt page? I don't think that's the case because of how he acts in other areas too. And if it was an act, you still don't lie to people. You still don't lie to people. I've never heard of Mercy until last week, but he seems to be manipulative and calculating. But he may be miscalculated his interaction with Tony. Well, he took a calculated risk, but he's bad at math. You know, toy collectors who are knights. Michael French, Tony Roberts, and Lyle Convoy. Yeah, I suppose. Mercy's personality is one of maintaining the illusory persona for his own gain and emotional enforcement. True. One good thing about the situation, it gave me a good insight into some friends who ignore the truth and blindly follow Mercy, and then hence pulled their support for Analog and Retroblasting. True. When third-party Transformer Unicron figures cost less and put together better than Hasbro HasLab version, should himself too. I've been tempted to get Studio Cell to compare, but that's also like an extra $400, and I don't know if I can justify that quite yet. When third-party Transformers, yeah, let's see here. His buddy the Joe Fan guy, boy, that blew up in his face. Well, yeah, except nobody's holding him accountable. By the way, Michael Mercy's Twitter is currently protected. I respect and appreciate that, sir, and no more from me. My curiosity comes from if anyone else picked up on her demeanor and weird interactions on camera. I wouldn't know. I will stick to our motto Unicron. Well, I mean, he is a neat toy. I'll give him that. What's next? I'm hoping to actually get something edited out. I've been wanting to for a while, but it's been busy. Work's been rough. Why do toy collectors seem compelled to dictate who others can associate to? Because they're a bunch of weak, dumb nerds that don't like it when people say mean things about what they like. I do not have any other third-party Predakings because I don't like any of them. Just going to be honest here. I'm still mad that a Unicron's Minicon wasn't named Moonicron. RC Supremacy from Opal. Yes, no, I know Opal. You like her because she's pink. People hate retro blasting because they don't like it when people deal with actual issues. They'd rather you just review the toy and smile. They're usually a bunch of man-children that never had to deal with adversity and don't like it when people say the thing you like might have problems. And here's the thing. Michael can't stand Thundercats. I'm the primary Thundercat YouTuber. I'm like one of the only ones. We get along fine. It's a really goofy standard to have. Well, you have to enjoy my joy. Enjoy my joy. You can't say bad thing about other thing, you monster, you. And Timothy Ward just sent me a link. Let me see here if this... Oh, he was kind enough to have it timestamped. So let's see what Michael Mercy says about George Lucas.
Yeah. I think by episode 3, though, it was just George sitting and catering. Brr, brr. It was after lunch. I've got indigestion, Ben. George? Bring the microphone. Brr, oh.
You know, I don't like Star Wars. It's not my thing. Don't like George Lucas. Not my type of guy. But he's a better director than you are, Miro. I'm sorry. Better writer, better director than you'll ever be. Good God, this is so egotistical. Just self-elation all over the place. I have a few Mezco 112 skills. I had the Ascending Knight. I currently have Sovereign Knight and Catwoman. I'm planning on selling them because I want to invest more in the Mafex line. My only issue with Retro Blasting's vids is not enough Broken Vader. I mean, That's everybody's problem with retro blasting videos. But Darth Vader, Broken Vader, he's a treat. And if you get the treat too much, he won't be special. Boof. Michael Mercy LARPs as a warrior while disrespecting a real one and gets mad when people criticize things. Michael Mercy, how does it feel to be so weak that people's words offend you? Do I have any 90s BotCon figures? I think I do if it's the right decade. Let me double check something. I could be wrong, though. Yes, I do. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, not only is Windraiser that I have a 90s BotCon exclusive, but I think the Tigatron is as well. The one that comes from the X9 Ravage mold. It's actually one of the two BotCon exclusives I bought first because I'd wanted them ever since I was a kid. David, thank you again for the $5 super chat. Condense Michael's joy with a mega condenser. We got to find the mega condenser, Snarf. What's that? I love to own BotCon, Transmetal 2, RC, and Transmetal Tigatron. Well, Dymos, you're going to be spending a large Dymos on that. But if you keep an eye out on TransArts, they just did a third-party Beast Wars Ravage. And chances are they're probably going to recolor it as a Tigatron at some point. And it's going to be a bigger figure. So I'm getting him in, I think, in the next couple weeks. He's going to be fun. It's the first TransArts Beast War figure I've owned. I want to get Skateboard Gorilla and Leopard Commander, which, again, I hate the name because it's a cheetah, not a leopard. But it's whatever. Yes, TransArt. Actually, when I first... One morning, I just picked up my phone and looked at it. I saw people complaining about TransArts, and I didn't see what group it's in. I'm like, why are these people so mad at trans people doing art? And I looked, oh, they're criticizing a toy company. Okay, that makes more sense. When do we get the Bird and Broken Vader crossover? Bird v. Broken Vader, toys rise up. I don't know, man. I don't know if you want that. Because there's a couple things. People don't know, but what if two things happen? Either they could team up and destroy everything, or because they're both egotistical dirtbags, they could just hate each other and just play off each other. I don't know how that would work out. And the Bird, we leave him be if we can help it. Transmetal Tigatron BotCon 2001. A better use of 600 than HasLab Unicron? I'd say so. I got lucky. I bought mine like in 2014, 2012, somewhere around there for like 120. Whew, I'm glad I bought him then. Oh, man. The appropriate people. Ah, yes, the appropriate people. All right, well... They hated retroblasting because he told the truth. Any complaints about the 112 line, Lyle? The only complaint I'd have about the Mezco 112 line is if you stain it, it's going to be there forever. There's no way to wash it. Why is BV such a jerk? I mean, if you didn't have any arms because of things outside of your control, you'd probably be a jerk too. Check out Primal Sabbath. He owns every Tigatron ever. Neat. We can see Beast Wars Megatron and Deathsaurus themed reticos of them. I actually have the BotCon Deathsaurus. Like, that was an accident because I was on Allspark and somebody listed stuff for sale, but he didn't note that it was BotCon and he had no images. So I thought it was like G1 Deathsaurus. I thought I got an amazing deal, and then I get the BotCon one. And I just sort of sat there for a second and said, actually, this is fine. And I've had him ever since. To Michael from Retroblasting, I wonder what they made a 3-pack of the Transformer just from Robotech in 3 different forms. I have no idea. Isn't Broken Vader supposed to be the same character from the movies? I have no idea. I'd love to see a third-party 2001 RID Megatron. I would too, but I think they're finally delving into Beast-related things. What I would like are like cartoon-accurate combiners. That's what I want. But anywho, we've been going on for over an hour now, and I have been busy, so I'm going to go ahead and cut you guys loose for now, and we will talk